Hello, I am Bisquick, otherwise known as Jeremy. I'm the creator of niotso. It's a project to re-implement the Sims Online pre-alpha build server that they would have used back on May 8th, 2002, when this version of the game client was built. The Sims Online pre-alpha is actually somewhat lost media nowadays. It is preserved in the form of the game client on archive.org, which you can see running here. But the original server code needed to actually do anything with this client has been, as of now, lost to time. So what I have done, continuing from the progress made on niotso, which is a project to re-implement the Sims Online's new and improved game server, I have basically taken what was learned from that project and implemented it here in the Sims Online pre-alpha, along with taking what progress was already made from that project with the pre-alpha build and putting that into a server that can then be automated so that we could show it off and see what it might have looked like, again, back in 2002 when the developers were working on this game. So right now, what we could see is that we're actually on the select a sim screen. This is right past the login prompt. This is the next screen that you'd see. Since I already have an avatar up here, we could actually hit edit an avatar to go to create a sim. I will show that off in probably a future video, but as of right now, I want to really show off just the main sort of part of the game that has not been seen working ever before, aside from screenshots that might exist online somewhere. But for the most part, this game is still lost content, so the entire point of this video today that I'm making is just to show off this piece of history and to let people kind of see what it looks like. I am aware that there's a video on YouTube by LUCPIX which shows off a no network tour of this game client, but this is not that. This is an actual functional sort of networked build of the game with actual networking features using a simulated server that I had written by reverse engineering the game in a debugger, which you can see behind me. We're going to keep this debugger open the whole time, along with the niotso city server window here, so we could see some correspondence between the game client and our server, kind of see what it's doing. I might point to this a couple times throughout the video just to highlight some things. But as you can see, there's quite a number of correspondence from previous attempts at shooting this video. Anyway, let's go ahead and go into the city. So if we click this button here, we could go into the city Blazing Falls. It is going to correspond with the server here. It's going to take a little bit to load everything that it needs. What it basically did there was the game client asked our simulated server quite a number of network requests here, involving who I am, what I look like, you know, if I own any lots, my preferences regarding if I want to show up as offline, unable to receive pings or messages, flashes as they call it in this version of the game. All of these networked commands did have to be re-implemented from scratch, but numerous of them are actually implemented and some of them are not, which I will show off here. This get char by ID and get relationships networked commands here basically form the basis of what we are seeing right now, which is a actual functional city server and city view, which is not a feature of the no network tour. You can see the city geometry, but you can't actually see any lots on the map. In this version of it, using this server implementation, we actually can. First up would be our bookmarks. Those are downloaded from the server again. So if I go here, the server will actually tell my client that I have 2 bookmarks, one of which is myself. We can right click to view the sim page, delete, or send an instant message. Viewing the sim page will take us to this gizmo here, which we could show the friendship web. We could expand to show a description of my friend, friendly buddy. We can also see where he stands in top 100 lists if this were implemented, along with what his personality looks like. His personality traits are here. Any skills that he's collected would be shown here. In this pre-alpha version of the game, you can see that they were toying with the idea of having some additional personality traits, things that you could customize about your character. Consisting of personality, entertainment, relationships, interests, and lifestyle. All of these are not implemented in this version of the game, they're just simply here as placeholders. Friendship web looks as you'd expect. It's just him, and then it's blank because he does not have any friendships, and that is not implemented in this version of the game currently. It is a networked command. We might be able to crack that one later on through continued development. I also do want to show off the user interface gizmo here. We can expand it to show top 100 lists. Again, this is a networked command. It's not implemented in this version. Search. By searching a string here, we can search for sims or properties. Something like that. You could do a wildcard or an exact match, again for properties and sims. Finally, there are map filters. Now this is pretty cool that we're dealing with a networked mode because we actually could see that there is a house here. We can see what that might have looked like. Right now it shows a thumbnail and loading for places that I've been. If I click on here, you can actually see that I am the owner of this house that we're trying to load. If we go a little bit deeper and kind of zoom in on where this house is, we can see that my house is sitting here on this island. If I click on it, it will show a thumbnail, the roommates, anybody who's a part of this house. As you can see, it's that friendly buddy again, along with a description of the house, a name, and a neighborhood name. You can click neighborhood info, but that button is never enabled in this version of the game. And we can finally see that this little icon here that was seen in pre-release videos actually just says download options. Again, it's completely grayed out no matter what you do. Let's try, again, since we're in a networked environment, buying a house. So we're going to click here, and we're going to click buy a lot. And as you can see, I have now purchased this lot. If I then go over here and click again, it'll actually say that I already own a lot, and then I could sell this lot to my roommate, friendly buddy, liquidating all of my objects and selling them and transferring ownership of the house to him. If I click yes, my house will move. So all those things are work in this version of the game, along with a neighborhood label here. Does work, and it does actually send your changes to the server to have them saved. If we try to join now, it's unfortunately going to hang. It's not something that we could do through this menu. We're going to have to change into a separate environment to load into this house, which we can do in this version using this simulated server. So now that I own a house, I'm actually going to restart my game. But without first letting you know that you live here as a marker was implemented, but incredibly crudely. Also showing that your inbox does load. It does, however, crash the game on load. This is a perfect time to transition over to the lot view to see what a lot would look like in this version of the game. Okay, so we're back here again. Again, after restarting the game, after I buy a property, we can load back into the Select a Sim menu and see that when I buy a property, the game will actually remember that. So, since this character file has that I own a house since I bought it in the city view, I can now click to join this house. And when I do so, it is going to interact with the city server directly using a special set of commands for joining a lot that I own. We're going to forward this once because it's a little bit buggy on Windows 11. We're going to see that now we're actually joining into the house. Moving back, the game is fully loaded here. I can see my character in the picture-in-picture view in the gizmo, and if I click in, I can visit the lot that I'm on. Let's try walking. Let's also try chatting for the first time. So again, these are things that you cannot do in a no-network environment. This is one of the benefits of re-implementing the server. Speaking of which, I just reminded myself that I should probably have that open. I know that a lot of this is junk to many of you watching. The purpose is that I want to show that there are actual networked commands that are happening here. Chat, message, PDU with my message, hello. And we can see that as I continue to talk and interact in the world, hello, exclamation point, we could see more of these networked commands being passed to the client. If I was to pause this server right now, my messages would no longer come through, indicating that we are actually interacting with a networked version of the game. As I continue to place objects on this map, they will be synchronized with the server to where my lot in this city, in this networked mode, will consistently save itself. Let's head over to build mode. It says that I need to be a roommate to enter build mode. So let's play around with this a little bit. We can do a couple things. First things first, let's add a person to this lot. It's a little bit lonely. Now we have a clone of myself, which is pretty cool. Next thing that I can do is I can actually run the be roommate command with my avatar's ID. We can see the ID here. And that should open up the ability now to construct things on the map if I had any money. Now I have some money to play around with. I can go ahead and construct. Constructing is very similar to that. All works just fine. We can also construct a couple of... Ooh, there's a visual bug there. We can also construct a couple of objects on the map as well, and we can sell them the same way, and everything just synchronizes perfectly. Again, just to show, we're still online in doing this process. So we are dealing with an online game here. Floor tools, same thing. Place as many floors as you want, and they will synchronize with the server. Let's experiment a little bit with the Edith tool. It's the editor that the developers would have used to edit this scenario that we're seeing here. We can see, if we go to the new object browser, that we can spawn in a friendly buddy. There's that player I was talking about earlier, who happens to be a roommate. Since we have these connections to these avatars, the game is automatically keeping them in our cache so that they can be loaded quickly. So since friendly buddy is actually referenced by the house here and also in my bookmarks menu, the game will keep him loaded in this sort of cached object folder that exists in the installation directory of the game to allow us to spawn in other players and kind of talk to them and interact with them. Using the AS command, we can switch between our clone and also our friendly buddy as well. As you can see, the face is friendly buddy, and as I walk, it will actually control him. This is a developer feature of the pre-alpha version of the game, but this does mean that we can actually have two players interact with each other, and I can only talk as myself because I'm the actual player in this game. So if I switch back to my player, I can actually accept this interaction or decline it. It looks like I accepted it automatically due to a timeout. So let's try maybe seeing what a mean interaction would look like. Let's try to cancel out of this, and let's shove them. And let's quickly switch over to the other player. Huh. Looks like it's a little bit buggy in this version. Regardless, we can use two players to get these sort of interactions to take place, as well as obviously interacting with other objects in the world, including two that I want to show off in this video, and I can always make more videos later on to show additional ones, which is a blackjack table and also a skill cheater that the developers might have used. These are two kind of cool looking objects. They kind of show off what beta features there were, along with the band Eon is another good example, which we could show up maybe in a future episode. Along with this, I do also just want to take a moment to show that there is a implemented chat history dialog that will take our chats into effect when showing them off, but it's kind of hard to move around. If I go into this menu, again, this cheat menu, and I do all menus on, we now have access to view developer-only interactions that are not meant for the average playtester who might have been using this version of the game. If I open the table as the owner of the lot, I can now get a host here, or a dealer, to deal me in to a blackjack game to show that these eons actually do function in this version of the game in some form of networked capacity. Let's go ahead and deal this game now that I'm the only player at the table. He's going to turn to face me, and he's actually going to give me both my bet along with doing his 2 dealer cards and my 2 cards. Okay, looks like I'm at 15 and I'm at 18. These aren't, this isn't a great start. Let's try again. Alright, this is pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit. Let's see if I can win this. 9, okay. 17, those are good odds. I'm definitely hitting that. As you can see, didn't quite win this one, but I actually was pretty close. We can go ahead and hit the bus button. And again, I lose. That's a little bit of an example of what some of these objects were shaping up to be in this version of the game, along with some elements of building houses, placing doors that actually have an EOD attached, along with signs that also have an EOD attached as well. No help is implemented for this door EOD, along with really any EOD. But you can actually also place signs as well. So if I do like a sandwich sign here, we can write and read and also set permissions, which I'll quickly show off. I approach the sign, I can edit it. Hello. Alright. Finally, we can read that my changes did actually be sent to the system in this sort of environment. These changes, again, do persist. They're saved to the lot house blob in this version of the game, as it's called. Which we can see here, this is Bisquic's property with the description that we previously had established before. So there's a lot of implemented features in niotso that we can really start to see what this version of the game might have behaved like, and hopefully take this game that much closer to being fully restored, not lost to time, not lost media, which is really the purpose of this video. So I want to thank you so much for watching. If you did happen to watch this, I won't really regularly make videos in the future, but I will definitely make videos about future projects that I happen to work on, because I do have lots of them, including some other networked games and lost media networked titles that we can hopefully take out of the grave. So I do want to say thanks for watching, and stay tuned for maybe future videos showing off additional lost content and beta content from the pre-alpha build of The Sims Online.